Chapter 324. The Pedophile and His Child Brides, Part 5. Sheikh Barkatullah was able to collect the recorded and written confessions of the Judge of the High Court, the Police Commissioner of Mumbai, and the Police Commissioner of Hyderabad. In addition, he prepared his own written and recorded confession too. He went first to the hotel, met Ifat Khan, and made her to hear the recorded confessions. After that, he took her with him and came to the old Saudi man. Sheikh Ahmed asked Ifat to tell him what she heard. Ifat narrated to her Saudi husband whatever she remembered from the 4 recorded confessions of the corrupt Indian lawmen. The old man asked her 10 of questions before he was satisfied with the recorded confessions. He also looked at the 4 written confessions without understanding what were written in them. All the 4 confessions were written and signed in Hindi. After that, the old man gave the green light for his lawyer and his Indian wife to travel to Switzerland together in the same plane and complete the secret deal. He also ordered his Indian maidservant to mail on the same day the recorded and written confessions of the Indian men of the law to his house's address in Tehran. Ifat Khan followed the order of her husband and went to the nearest post office and mailed the secret materials to Iran and returned to her hotel. The following day, the Muslim lawyer came to her hotel and asked her to accompany him to the Swiss consulate. Sheikh Barkatullah had never been to any Western country. It was his life's dream to see the Western world. In fact, the only foreign country he visited was Pakistan. After his Allah came down from heaven and showered these blessings on him, he felt like he was the luckiest man on earth. He had never dreamt of being one day a crorepati, i.e. a person whose net worth was at least 10 million rupees. Moreover, before luck knocked on his door, he never expected to ever fulfill his life's dream of visiting the West or immigrating to the Muslim country of Pakistan. Now, all his heart desires were going to be achieved after the blessed Indian Muslim girl, Ifat Khan, was sent by his Allah to the High Court and came and picked him up from the gaggle of 15 lawyers. Consequently, Sheikh Barkatullah liked Ifat Khan so much so she became his symbol of good luck. He had never seen her face, but he believed that she would be so beautiful and her face would be so radiant and shining like the face of Fatima al-Zahra, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad. He also believed that such a blessed and holy Indian Muslim girl who was so faithful and obedient to her Arab master would be pure and holy. If this was the case, like the daughter of Muhammad, she would not have monthly periods too. Fatima, the daughter of the Prophet Muhammad, was nicknamed al-Zahra because she was believed to be so pure and holy that Allah did not put on her Eve's curse of menstruating every month. Although Fatima al-Zahra had children from her husband Ali ibn Abi Talib, still some Muslim historians claim that she never had a period in all her life. Sheikh Barkatullah was astonished and puzzled by the honesty shown by Ifat Khan. He could not believe that a poor young Indian maidservant could be entrusted with such a huge amount of money and still Satan could not tempt her to run away with it. If she was like any other Indian young woman, she would not hesitate for a second to run away with such huge amount of money and spend the rest of her life as a rich Maharani, the Queen of Queens, First Lady and wife of Maharaja, Kings of Kings. Nevertheless, the blessed, honest, pure, holy, and loyal Ifat Khan decided to remain a maidservant in her Arab master's employ rather than running away and becoming one of the richest women in India. Barkatullah wished in his heart that Allah would bless him with such a faithful daughter-in-law. He determined in his heart that when he got hold of his 7 crores he would get Ifat Khan married to his first son, Maksud Barkatullah. He already had mentioned her to his family and told his wife and children about her and how honest, humble and blessed a maidservant she was. If Ifat agreed to marry his blessed son Maksud, Barkatullah would to take her to Pakistan and throw the best marriage in the history of Lahore. Among all the cities of Pakistan, Barkatullah decided to leave the land of the accursed Hindu idol worshippers, immigrate to the blessed land of Muslims, and settle in that city. He chose that city because he had distant relatives who were fed up of fighting with Hindus in Ahmedabad, immigrated to Pakistan and settled in Lahore. Barkatullah had already contacted his relatives in Lahore and requested them to find him a big house in the richest area in the city and book it for him. He promised that he would come to Pakistan and pay off the entire sum of the house as soon as he returned from his business trip in Switzerland. The Muslim lawyer promised his wife, 9 children, and parents that he would take them all to the holy lands of Mecca and Medina to visit the tomb of the Prophet Muhammad, the house of Allah, and perform the Hajj. Furthermore, his 5 sons were told that there was no need for them to pursue their secular education any longer. As soon as he would return from his important business visit to Europe, he would give each one of them 25 lakhs of rupees so that they could start their own business. To his 4 daughters, he promised that he would find good Muslim boys and marry them off and settling them down. He admitted being too afraid to allow them to continue their education in secular schools and possibly fall in love with Hindu boys and bring great shame and curse to his blessed and holy family. Moreover, Barkatullah swore by his Allah that when he returned from the West he would bring the best foreign clothes to his wife and 9 children. He also told his family that as soon as they would reach Lahore he would buy for them the most expensive car in the market. In India and Pakistan a 5-passenger car can take up to 15 passengers. The only thing Sheikh Barkatullah did not share with his wife and children was that he was planning to find 3 young and beautiful, Allah-fearing, Pakistani Muslim girls to marry. He planned, each year, to wed himself to one young beautiful Lahori Muslim girl until he completed the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad and the Holy Quran of having 4 wives at the same time. Their ages should be between 12 and 14. The second wife should be 14 years old. But, the third wife should be 13 and the fourth wife 12 years old. With those plans in mind, Sheikh Barkatullah took the blessed and holy Indian Muslim maidservant from the hotel to the Swiss consulate to apply for visiting visas. To ensure that the consulate would not reject their applications if it claimed that Barkatullah was her mother's brother, she attached an official letter from the Abu Dhabi International Bank that showed her bank account balance. The consulate could not believe such a young Indian girl could have that much money. Contacting the bank eliminated that disbelief. The following day, the consulate issued the 2 visas for the rich young Indian girl and her uncle. After that, Ifat and Barkatullah went to Air India to purchase their tickets and book their flight. They were told that the nearest date for booking would be after 1 month. Nevertheless, they were told that if they wanted to fly immediately, they would have to pay more and purchase first-class tickets. Before purchasing first-class airfares, Ifat and Barkatullah consulted the old Saudi man. His consent obtained, they returned to the Air India building and bought first-class tickets. Their trip was scheduled in a couple of days. When all was ready, the old man imposed more conditions for his 2 delegates. First of all, he ordered that the 2 tickets and passports should be kept with Ifat Khan. Secondly, Barkatullah was to show up at the Mumbai International Airport 3 hours before the flight time. Thirdly, Ifat had to take a taxi from the hotel and travel to the Mumbai International Airport alone. Fourth, in the plane the 2 should not sit together or allow anyone to know that they had anything in common. Fifth, when they would arrive at Zurich they should stay in the same hotel, but in separate rooms. His conditions given, the old Saudi lifted up his both hands to the sky and ordered Ifat and Barkatullah to lift up their hands to their Allah too. Then, he recited loudly Surat al-Fatiha and sent them with the blessings and protection of Allah and His Messenger. Sheikh Barkatullah dropped Ifat Khan at her hotel and gave her his blessings too and promised to meet her at the Mumbai International Airport in 48 hours. He was in a great hurry that day. His wife and children had organized a big party for him. The family invited 200 Muslim men and women plus the uncountable number of their children to the great feast. Barkatullah family spent 35,000 rupees on preparing for that big feast. Everyone invited was told that the party was in honor of the successful business that Sheikh Barkatullah had started with a big international European company. The crooked lawyer lied to everyone, even his family, that he had started an international import and export company. His trip to Switzerland was for the commencement of the business. He claimed that he had been invited by his European partners to come to Zurich for the inauguration ceremony of the business. With nodding heads of every Muslim around him, the corrupt lawyer swore by his Allah that he was going to quit working as a wakil. He argued that his Islamic conscience convicted him of the big sins that he committed by doing a profession that was condemned by Sharia law. According to the Islamic Sharia law, lawyers are not accepted at court, and hence it is haram in Islam to study secular law and become a lawyer or a secular judge. Only those who have attended a bona fide Islamic college and studied Sharia law would be allowed to become judges in Sharia courts. In fact, according to all schools of the Sharia law, soliciting was not a part of the Islamic judicial system. It was an innovation that was created by the secular Western judicial system, which is man-made and not divinely revealed as the Sharia. And according to Islam, every new system that is not founded in the Book of Allah, the Quran, and the Sunnah of His Messenger is simply considered an innovation. Every innovation leads to hellfire. Therefore, Sheikh Barkatullah told everyone that he was planning to quit working as a solicitor in the secular Indian courts and start an acceptable business to his Allah of importing and exporting. He said further that his Prophet Muhammad, before receiving his first revelation from his Allah, used to work in the import and export trade of his first wife Khadija bint Khuwaylid. The three types of people that are persona non grata in the Islamic judicial system are a woman, a lawyer, and an infidel. In any case, Barkatullah had truly made up his mind to forsake the profession that he worked in it for so many years and had used its income to fill the stomachs of his wife, children, and himself. For the great feast, Sheikh Barkatullah slaughtered 5 goats and bought 400 chickens to celebrate his new overseas business and thank his Allah for the great treasure that he brought to his life. He was made to jump over each goat that was beheaded in front of the door of his house. A Muslim was required to celebrate every blessing by slaughtering an animal as a qurban to his Allah and jumping over its blood. That day, the Barkatullah family and their 200 Muslim guests along with their many children celebrated the happy party with merry hearts. That day, everyone filled his or her stomach with delicious mutton biryani, chicken curry, chicken tandoori, and various kinds of Indian sweet dishes.